So welcome back to SAFC Live. The headlines are that Sunderland have been beaten by 1-0 by Burton Albion, but it wasn't a game without drama, really. The last kick of the game was an apparent offside goal for Sunderland. We will discuss that and all the points now with former player Danny Collins here in the studio. Let's start rolling the action from the game, and Danny, you can talk us through it as well. Sunderland played well this evening, though, despite the scoreline.
Yeah, I thought so overall. I think we certainly shaded it, especially we had the better chances. We're looking back at it now and we'll see. I think this was perhaps the moment where we started the second half quite well. We had 2 or 3 minutes where we were on the front foot and just, I think Sirkin has a little heavy touch there, and then Burton get on the attack here, and I think Tom Flanagan comes across and makes a good block. And again, I thought Flanagan was pretty decent back there tonight. But it was disappointing, and then we kept going. We had a few opportunities. This one here, Stewart, he comes inside on his favoured right foot and just gets underneath the ball. But it was quite an open half, wasn't it? Well, open game really, to be honest. I think Burton had a few efforts themselves. Second off, this one's a great chance for them. I thought it was a great ball in behind our back line, and you can see his disappointment there, putting the ball over the top. Winchester here comes inside on his left foot, and you're thinking, is he going to strike? And he does. He catches hold of it really well. That one there, is there anything? He's not too much of an appeal from Dennis Sirkin. He does get wrong side of his man. But Burton, the credit to him, as I said, they came out, they had a bit of a go second half. 1 or 2 opportunities there. You see a little give and go down this left-hand side. And here's the goal now, I think. Just prior to that, there was a couple of sloppy touches from a couple of our lads. Don't deal with it. Flanagan gets the block in. It falls to Johnny Smith, and I've said before the game, and I know he's got that ability, and he just bends it into that far corner, and that just took the stuffing out of us for 5 minutes. Mancy in there, coming out to him off the long throw-in, gets a good strike on it, just drags it past the post. And as the game wore on, we've seen it ourselves in recent weeks where we've been leading by a goal, and then just towards the end of the game, you're almost getting a little bit nervy, you're dropping a little bit deep. We've made a couple of changes. Pritchard come on, Broadhead come on. He's unlucky here. I think Ross Stewart just nicks it over the top of him. Broadhead's in behind him, and I think he has a strike. I think this is the one now. Comes to him, Luke O'Nien, fizzes a nice little ball into him, takes a good first touch, and it's a great strike. And the keeper does well. He's down low to his right hand side, manages to get the save in. I think 1 or 2 opportunities we're trying to play out there. Doyle's just trying to feed it in, and it's Smith again, isn't it, on that left foot, and he catches it really well. Fortunately for us, it comes back off the outside of the post. And then just this last 10 minutes, I think, really now, as we were knocking on the door, we had a few opportunities, numbers in the box, but Burton were dropping deep. As I said, look at them there now, they've got 6 or 7 man, maybe 8 back there, and we were finding it difficult to break them down. A couple of long-range efforts. Pritchard there, testing the goalkeeper. And then we were just looking for that one up. I think, is this McGeady's one? No, it's Luke O'Nien on his left foot, isn't it? Yeah, just up and over the bar, leaning back. And I was saying on the comp, just keep going right till the end. And I think, is this the one now? Yeah, you see, Lyndon Gooch just bends it in there, and Flanagan thinks he's managed to take us a point back to the Stadium of Light. Unfortunately, the linesman's flags up. We see it here now. Little step over from Lyndon Gooch, and as the ball comes in. We're seeing it here. I know we're on this angle from the halfway line, but for me, I think the centre half in front of. I don't know why he's appealing, because he doesn't know what's going on behind him. He's got his arm up there. Flanagan thinks he's onside. He's frustrated. He's had a few words with the referee after the game. Lee Johnson, I know he's on the halfway line looking at it, but he'll be devastated that we've not taken certainly a point out of this game tonight. We were more than good for a point tonight, and goes back to those chances first half. We said it at half time. What's missing from that first half performance? Well, there's the answer. We haven't taken our chances, and it's come back to bite us in the backside.
Nevertheless, though, was there any performances from the Sunderland ranks which really impressed you this evening, Danny?
Yeah, I think Flanagan was good defensively, and it would have capped off a good performance for him there to get the equaliser at the end. But I thought Dan Neil, if we look at some of his clips maybe in a minute or two, I think when we got him on the ball, he was good. He's always looking on the half turn, looking for a through ball. Played one out to Sirkin on the left touchline first half. As this is one, just seeing there now, he's got a picture of what's going on around him, and he's looking in there. And that's a lot of things we were doing well in that first half, especially we're coming through Dan Neil. And I just felt for 20 minutes or so in that second half, look here now, he just mixes it up there, just drops a lovely ball into Aidan McGeady in behind. You know, he's got those short 10-yard balls, what he likes to wrap into players through the lines, but at the same time, he can mix it up and drop balls over the top. But we had 10, 15 minutes and we went away from that second half. You know, I thought, can we get Luke O'Nien and Dan Neil in those little pockets off the centre halves like we did in that first half? And we just stopped doing it. For me, we went a bit too direct, and Burton were happy with that. Invited them back into the game. They get their goal, and then they were almost happy then. You know, you see him bringing Boswick on at the end. They take Powell went off, didn't he? And they were almost saying, let's see if you're good enough to break us down. And we were knocking on the door for 10 minutes or so, waiting for that one good opportunity. It comes right at the death. But unfortunately, it's chalked off for offside.
Yeah, obviously, we don't have the ability to have VAR in League One, but of course, maybe if we had a different camera angle, we could have perhaps proven that maybe what you think, that Tom Flanagan was onside.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're looking at that camera angle, same as the viewers at home are seeing, same as almost Lee Johnson is seeing from the halfway line. You're looking down like you're not in line. You're hoping that the linesman's got it right. As that ball comes across.
And Tom Flanagan's coming from the defence as well. You know, he's had a long run up at it, you know.
Yeah, but he's getting in there and just looking at it, I think, not the man who's behind him. I think Tom Flanagan is a yard offside of him, but I think it's the other man, the other side of him. It might be Leek, the centre half, and he looks like he's in line with him. You know, you're gauging off that 6-yard line when you're looking at it. We're slowing it down there. I know the linesman hasn't got that benefit of having it slowed down like we have here, but you know, again, we'll look at it back now as that ball comes in. Look there.
The right back position as well.
And I don't know why he's appealing. He doesn't know what's going on behind him there, and he's delighted. Again, we're going to see it again. We can watch it as many times as we like. Yes, it's not going to change the decision. It's there. Is it 27 or 26? I think it's
That's Ryan Leek, yeah.
Leek, yeah, it's Leek. I think is the one who's playing him on, and he's got the cheek there to stand with his arm up. He doesn't know what's going on behind him.
See if we can get it. If we
slow it down a bit now. Yeah, look now as it comes in. He's up on the 6-yard line. He's up on the 6-yard. He's not there. And Flanagan's there. Look, now.
Just coming off the 6-yard line now.
Yeah, and he's got the wrong side of the other man in behind him
so
there.
So Shaughnessy back there as well, is it?
Yeah. And I think that's a difficult one to call offside, if I'm honest. I think he's
finished in position there. Isn't too far away from the chap there in the right boot. So I think is one of the players who came on perhaps.
So, yeah, it's
hard to take, isn't it?
It is. It's frustrating. It's disappointing, you know, to come up against a team who, yes, they've had a good start to the season, but on the balance of play and chances created, we should be getting back on the bus with 3 points tonight.
Okay, we are not getting back on the bus with 3 points tonight, but we can see who did get 3 points tonight as we look round at the other scores in EFL League One. So let me just run these down for you. Accrington 1, Doncaster 0. AFC Wimbledon 1, Gillingham 1, Cheltenham 2, Ipswich 1, big result there for Cheltenham. Lincoln 0, Bolton 1, MK Dons 2, Charlton 1, Morecambe 0, Rotherham 1, Oxford 1, Crewe 0, Plymouth 1, Cambridge United 1, Portsmouth 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Fleetwood 0, and Wigan and Wickham drawing 1-1. See what that does to the league table. A couple of surprises there. Ipswich failing to win
Struggling again, Ipswich, yeah. They've, made a lot of signings, but they can't get going at the minute, can they? Lost 2 and drew 1, I think, so disappointing start for them. Portsmouth going well. Again, it's early days, you know, Portsmouth and obviously Burton. Wickham drawing away at Wigan. Sheffield Wednesday. We were unsure how they were going to go this season with what's going on there, but they've had a pretty decent start as well. But, it's still early days, and it's more so the result than looking at the table at this stage of the season. Going away there tonight in a good vein of form ourselves, unbeaten in our first 3 games of the season, including the League Cup match. And to come away, it's a disappointing blow, it is. But we've got to get back tonight, dust ourselves up tomorrow. I'm sure they'll go over the game in the meeting room over the next day or two. And just got to get back to the training ground. Don't be too disappointed overall. The performance was pretty good for me. The only downside was we didn't find the back of the net, which we should have done on more than one occasion. But got to go again at the weekend now. Yes,
of course, AFC Wimbledon at the weekend at the Stadium of Light as well. I wonder if we can move on to some of your thoughts now with hashtag AskDanny. We'll bring you up to speed with Danny's opinions on anything you want to talk about the club. We're going to start with this one from Alan, who's brought this one in. And Alan says, Danny, what do you feel the problem is with Sunderland's conversion rate, shots to goals?
Well, it's a simple answer, really, isn't it? Not beating the goalkeeper and not finding the back of the net. I think in terms of creating chances, I think I'm not too up on the XG and those sort of stats, but I did see that we were the highest. I think was it 4 point something in terms of those when I seen it this morning. But I think in terms of what we have been creating chances. You need to start worrying when you're not creating chances. That's when your strikers not getting on the end of things. Ross Stewart's had his opportunity. That one, I think he perhaps looking back, he had the opportunity to just lift it over the goalie who found himself in no man's land. Aidan McGeady got to do better with his. He knows that. He's tried a clever dink which wasn't on. So we had a couple of opportunities. First half, Ross had the one. Elliot Embleton bent a nice ball in, and he just couldn't quite get on the end of it. So we are getting into good positions. Second half, towards the end of the game, Broadhead's had a great strike there.
Luke O'Nien cutting back on his
Luke O'Nien's had 1 or 2 efforts. So we are getting opportunities, and the time to start worrying and panicking is when, at times last year, we had a lot of possession in games, but you were coming away from the games thinking, have we really worked the goalkeeper enough there? Some goalies were getting back on the bus without needing a shower. So, when it comes to that stage, that's when we've got to start worrying. Yes, it hasn't worked tonight. I know Alan's asking the question, what's the problem? Well, it's just that final, as I said in the commentary there, it's finding that last piece of the jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
Ben Garrett definitely the busier of the two.
Yeah, he was, and the hardest thing in football is putting the ball in the back of the net. Unfortunately, we've not managed to do that tonight. In the previous games, we've done it 2 times. So, got to get back to it and back to the Stadium of Light at the weekend and see what we can do against Wimbledon.
Okay, then if we can move on to the next one, please. This one is from Evan. Thoughts on the new signings? Well, we saw a little bit of a cameo from Nathan Broadhead tonight. He had a good shot as well, right across the keeper this evening. Yeah,
he did, and that would have been a nice way to open his account, wouldn't it? First touch of the ball, I think it was when he came on. No, I've looked at some clips online when the boys are signing. Obviously, I'll go in and have a little look at what they're all about. Broadhead, had a look at him yesterday, a few clips from Everton in pre-season, and he looks lively. Different to what we've got, I think. I think I can see him playing off Ross Stewart like he did tonight when he came on there. Obviously, I think it was O'Nien who fed the ball through, but he looks calm, finishing I know he's 23 in terms of young, in terms of the amount of games he's got under his belt, but he looks quite sharp as well. Looks like he can get away from a man. So he looks a good signing on paper. Only time will tell when he comes into it, but I'm sure they've done the recruitment in looking and bringing him into the club. Obviously, we haven't seen Alves yet. Again, I've seen a few clips on him from West Ham in pre-season. Interesting with him. I know he's a new signing, and I think Flanagan's doing well at the minute. That's the place where he'll be looking at taking. With Doyle coming in on that left-hand side, being left-footed, Alves coming in, we'll be looking to take Flanagan's position. But I think Flanagan, he was good Saturday. I heard a lot of people giving Doyle a lot of praise at the weekend, but I thought Flanagan was good at the weekend as well. And I thought he was good again tonight. So he knows with these players coming in that he'll be breathing down his neck for taking the shirt off him. And that's how it should be, all over the pitch. I said it last week, for a club like Sunderland in League One, we should have competition all over the park. 2 players, at least, competing for shirts out on the pitch.
With that in mind, though, we still have a couple of weeks left of the transfer window.
Yeah.
Do you expect a couple more in?
Yeah, still more to come in. Certainly a right back. I think Lee Johnson mentioned it after the game the other day, and you've seen that at MK Dons, where Corey Evans gets injured and he had to move Winchester in there. Then he's dropping Lyndon Gooch to right back, and instead of having that natural replacement or a natural starter in that place, an injury in the team, it upsets the system, and almost, tinkering too many 3-4 bodies have got to be moved around to accommodate us not having a natural right back in the squad. So I'm sure they're still working hard now. They've got 2 weeks left, haven't they, as you say, to go out there and get a right back in. And then we maybe even need another one, or certainly another full-back. Denver Hume still hasn't committed.
Yeah.
So yes, we've got Sirkin in there, but we're short. If Sirkin gets injured, we're back to square one in terms of a left-back. We don't want to see Dan Neil going out there, for me. I'm sure the fans will agree. Dan Neil, we see what he's capable of tonight. We've seen what he's capable of at the weekend at MK Dons in the middle of the park there. Assist for Embleton. Seeing him tonight, those threaded balls. So still some business to be done. In the forward side of it, I think we may be done there now. Interesting to see what happens. Will Grigg wasn't involved again tonight, whether he's looking to move on. The club are looking to move him on. But Broadhead coming in, taking the number 9 shirt. Then Kimpio could obviously had a run out last night. So I think priority is certainly right back, and I'm sure the fans agree with that, and getting 1 or 2 more bodies in, because we've got a lot of games throughout the season. 50 plus games. The squad is looking stronger at this moment in time, but one or two injuries, as we seen last season, you get one or two in a short space of time, it can get away from you, and then we're looking at recruits from 23s coming into the first team.
We've got another one. This one's from Chris Brown. Thanks for your hashtag Ask Danny, Chris. He says, how does LJ stop the lads reverting to long ball for periods of the game? Burton scored tonight because we invited them onto us by doing it.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from, and I've just mentioned it there, to be honest. I think when we were getting our joy first up, we turned it over the top a couple of times because it was on, Ross Stewart was getting in. And then at the same time we mixed it up, we played one or two. I think the one where McGeady got in first half, it was a good little bit of build-up play. I think Embleton was involved in it, Dan Neil and Lyndon Gooch, and they thread it into him with 3 or 4 passes. And that's where we're getting joy as well. And we're capable of that, a nice slick surface down there, as it was for the majority of the game. And we just, for some reason, that in the second half, went away from it. I'm not getting at Callum Doyle, just a couple stick out there because I think he's been great. And he hit a couple of great ones at the weekend, and he did against Wigan. He's got the left foot and he's got that big switch over to the right-hand side. But I just felt he forced it a couple. There was 2 or 3 where he was looking for Lyndon Gooch on the big switch, didn't quite get there, and they picked it up, and it invited them back into the game. Similar at the weekend where they get the goal from a fault of ours, invites them back into the game. We've got to stop doing that. And we started the second half well. I thought we did pass it. We got into their final third with ease, and then all of a sudden we had a nervy 10-15 minutes where they came into the game, and I'm not saying I'm doing them a disservice. I think it suits that they're happy to have a scruffy game. The ball's in the air a lot, it's bouncing around. They're happy because if it comes to a passing game, I think we've got better quality players than what Burton have. So it comes to them, but Johnny Smith at the same time, I've touched on him before the game, and someone I mentioned after the game there last season, he was quality that day, even though we won 3-0. He's a technician, he likes to get on the ball, and we've seen that with his goal, and then he hits the post just after that. So need to get back to playing through them. Not saying don't go long. When you've got Ross Stewart up there as well, you can drop balls into him. It hasn't got to be a big lumped up shell. You can just a little clip ball over it. Yes, Mancian was in there screening, but a little quality ball in. We know Ross can bring it down with his touch or onto his chest. He brings Embleton in, Pritchard, whoever's in and around him. So just got to get back to doing that, I think. Okay,
then let's see who is speaking on the next one. This is from Nicole. It says, Sunderland should be 5 goals up, never mind 1 down. Dan Neil playing great from Nick and Lou, Sunderland fans. Well, thanks, Nick and Lou, for getting involved in the post-game programme. There was those early chances for Sunderland, and they ended up ruining them in the end.
Yeah, I think she's right there. I think, you cannot say 5, maybe. Yeah, possibly. We'll look back over the chances, but clear-cut chances, I think. 3 standouts first half. McGeady, where he tries to dink the keeper. Ross Stewart, where he perhaps should have dinked the keeper. And then McGeady, where the keeper obviously made the save and the ref thought he'd missed the target. They were the 3 standout chances. So I agree, coming in at half-time, maybe 5, maybe flattered us, maybe, but you couldn't argue if we were 3-0 up coming in at half-time. And I said that game would have been dead and buried. Second half, if we come out second half and it's 3-0, we're keeping the ball, we're moving it round. Their heads go down, they're at home, they're getting a bit of a run around, and it just deflates them really. And
it's great that fans like Nick and Lou who are watching obviously noticed the same as you, that Dan Neil had a great game in the middle.
Played him in there, and I've said it, and then regardless of his age, he's just 19, I think he's not 20 till a couple of months' time, Dan, or maybe next month, I'm not sure. But anyway, regardless of that, in terms of, yes, he hasn't played a lot of games, but I liked what I've seen from him last season, and I liked what I've seen from him in the middle of the park. And whether we play, the 4-2-3-1, for me, he's got to be one of those 2 playing in there. I think he's capable of doing the sitter role, because you can see he likes to go and take it off the centre halves and link up the play from deep. And then at the same time, he's good from sort of 25, 30 yards out, where he's got those little threaded balls as well. So for me, he's got to stay in the middle of the park. I'm not the manager. We'll see what happens. He knows he's got competition. Luke O'Nien, Corey Evans when he's fit. Aidan O'Brien maybe plays a little bit higher up. Winchester, if we sign a right back, he'll want to be going in there. So there's competition in there. But at this moment in time, for me, he's one of the first names on the team sheet in that middle of the park.
Okay, thanks, Danny. Let's move on to the final one this evening. This one's from Alex, who says, we're looking more accomplished and sharp than last season. Played some fantastic stuff tonight. Just wasn't our day. Plenty to build on.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way we're playing this year. I think it is different to last season. Fans can obviously see that. We've seen that in there, not just in the first couple of games, throughout pre-season. Look at the goals we've scored. We said it between the 18-yard lines, halfway line to 18-yard box, that square almost, is where we've done a lot of damage to teams. Last season, obviously, it was different. It was balls out wide, Charlie's in the middle, hopefully, and he was getting on the end of stuff. And I think Ross is a completely different striker, and I keep hearing and seeing people comparing the two of them. And for me, stature-wise, yeah, Ross, they're similar, 6'3", Ross maybe a little bit bigger, but he's more mobile. Yeah. His all-round game, he does bring a little bit more to the team than Charlie for me. His hold-up plays perhaps better. You know, he jumps his size. And then that invites Elliot Embleton, as we say. Lyndon Gooch can come and take the ball off him. They've got to get round him. Aidan McGeady as well. And the boys coming off the bench, Pritchard, you know, Broadhead coming on as well tonight. So we've got a lot of attacking threat for this level now, I think. Getting the balls into good areas, not just, at times you've got to get the ball out wide, you've got to mix it up. You see what we thought was the equaliser tonight, which wasn't, but it's a ball from out wide, great ball in from Lyndon Gooch, and you've got your centre-half arriving on it, thought he got us a goal, so you've got to mix the play up. But what we have seen is Dan Neil's ball to Embleton for the goal at MK Dons. These types of situations, what we weren't seeing a lot of last year, just those little clever balls in and around the box. So we're seeing it, and I think the fans are seeing it.
Good. Well, thanks so much for your thoughts this evening, Danny. And imagine there'll be lots more reaction from tonight's game, including from the first team coach Lee Johnson as well. Head over to safc.com and, of course, stay tuned to SAFC's official social channels as well to hear all the post-game reaction. That's it for us, though, this evening here on SAFC Live. Of course, we'll be back in action on Saturday at the Stadium of Light. Myself and Danny will be on the gantry from 2:30 here on SAFC Live. But for us all here involved in the production this evening, a good evening.